episode is brought to you by Human Performance Teams. Go to hptrt.com for the best in testosterone replacement therapy. Everybody on the show takes TRT. Most of the people on this network take TRT. If you go to hptrt.com and use promo code CC30, you're going to get 30% off, not just your initial month, but every single month you'll get 30% off. And if you already had your blood work done within the last 6 months, you can upload that blood work to hptrt.com and you don't have to pay any lab costs. So again, hptrt.com, use promo code CC30 and get 30% off. I've got 2 actively posting now, and it's so what they do is they post on Instagram, and then they collab with Counterculture News. Yeah. Okay. Are we recording?
Dollar Tree sells Family Dollar for $1 billion after buying it for $9 billion in 2015.
Oh, they lost $8 billion on it?
$8 billion.
Wait. How much they buy it for?
They bought it for $9 and they sold it for $1. That's bad math.
Because the cops ain't doing their job and keeping people from stealing.
Dollar General?
Dollar General bought Family Dollar. The green one bought the red one.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What did we say we were going to talk about in this episode?
Steroids and TRT, right?
Was that this one? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, because I'm raging anyways. I'm starving, so it's a good
okay.
time to talk
All right.
about
All right. Let's talk about it, and then we'll go eat. Dang, we just ate. You freaking eat a lot, don't
It
you?
was fucking 10 o'clock.
Dude.
I'm hungry.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, we got huge arms, though.
I'm
Yeah,
on
you
TRT, man.
you guys got.
fucking
So
jacked,
do I. I
dude.
don't know if you've seen them, but
I didn't notice that.
There's always
hungry.
There's always
Eat
one
big-
person in the episode that's dressed like a fucking
Eat
bomber.
big to get big.
There's agencies out there that tell cops they can't be on TRT. Like
What?
that's that fear mongering. Like they can't. First off, it's prescribed by a doctor, and they can't test. If they tested your testosterone, you'd be at an optimal level anywhere from 800 to 1,000. And people are born that way.
Yeah.
There's guys walking around here with tests in the 880s that
They're
are just natural.
lucky.
And
But they're not going to get that deep.
I mean, but
They-
can you
they're-
imagine
you
your
start taking
agency,
blood.
your doctor's
They're
or your
fucking cucks.
Is it
Where
like
you
that
work-
Polk
they're-
County?
They're cucks, dude.
That Polk County cop talks like negatively about the
Grady Judd?
in Florida.
Really?
The guy that always posts the people's
Yeah, Grady
pictures.
Judd.
Yeah, he was on a podcast and I was surprised. He was like, I am not okay with the steroids, and he didn't specify if he meant like encompass like testosterone in general as a steroid, because testosterone is testosterone. But
Yeah.
he said I'm not okay with my cops taking all that and stuff, and I do not believe in. He was against it. So I don't know if he meant all of it or like the hard stuff, like the trend and all that, or if he meant
It's
testosterone
hard because
too.
a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about, they lump it all in.
Yeah.
They just
don't
don't
know.
know. They think a needle injection in your ass cheek that gives you big muscles is the same as steroids.
If you take
100% not.
If you're low on test and you take testosterone to be in like an optimal level, you're actually a nicer person.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah,
feel
your
body.
not
You know?
running
insecure,
better. It's
you're
like
not
putting, it's
pissed
like
off.
not. It's like your car being all fucked up with the
Yeah.
fluids and running like
Exactly.
shit. And you're like, oh, I'm not gonna put any extra fucking shit into it because it's getting down the road.
Yeah.
Well, why won't you get it down the road optimal?
Yeah. Yeah.
You put rocket fuel in a rocket and it flies really good.
You don't put diesel in?
No, you don't fucking put diesel in it. You put rocket fuel in a rocket and the fucking rocket goes to the fucking
Which
moon. Although we
agencies?
didn't land on the moon.
Which agencies like active? Do you know of any that actually won't let
we
you?
get messages when we push HPTRT, obviously, because we're huge components of it.
Yeah.
And we get messages from people saying, I wish I could, but my chief won't allow me.
That's
like,
bullshit.
tell
It's
your
a fuck,
chief
if
to
your fucking
suck.
Dude, that's-
doctor writes a prescription,
Yeah.
for it, it's not
That's like
fucking
if he-
marijuana.
if he,
They
it's
can't
not-
tell
it's
you
not-
what medications.
No.
I mean, I get it. Like, there's things like, well, your doctor can prescribe you Xanax.
Well, you can't get fucked up on codeine. You know, and
if
be on
you
shift.
can't,
You know,
you
it's
can't
like,
drive a forklift on Xanax either. So it's not just police work; it's
Yeah.
every single
If you
job.
snap your leg in half on a foot pursuit, they're going to give you oxycodone.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the worst fucking drug on earth.
Exactly.
They're going to tell me they're going to tell you not to
They're
take
gonna
it.
hope you don't get hooked on it.
Yeah.
yeah. It blows my mind,
Non-addictive,
dude.
and the only side effect is looking better and feeling better.
Well, here's
Yeah,
here,
yeah, and-
here's here. I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on.
Go
You ready
ahead.
for
Oh,
this?
my favorite. Let's go.
CIA guy.
Tyranny does not like
Masculine
men that
men.
stand
Oh,
alone.
for
Masculine
sure.
men.
Oh,
So
we-
your admin is tyrannical brass. That's all they are. They are tyranny. They are there to keep order and make sure you do what you're supposed to do. So the free-thinking cops and firefighters that we are and preach.
Right.
And there should be a huge community of them. 80% of all of them should be free thinkers and people that will leave the job at any moment if it gets bad.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that anymore. So when you have, but look at like why the FDA has reevaluated testosterone in the last 20 years and said, no, these levels are good. Men are fine now. And it's because, they're putting shit in our foods. They're saying like, oh, well, the levels are good. Like 500-600 is good. Like, no, it's not.
No.
But they're telling you it's good, so you don't worry about it because they got to keep you in order. They have to keep you in line.
I happen to be an expert in this area.
Well,
my biggest fucking pet peeve is the word roid rage. And people don't know what it means. They don't know what it means either. So they assume
if you're a dick, you're going to be a bigger dick.
The problem, the dudes that rage and get like that are not properly balancing their estrogen and testosterone levels, and they're taking tren or they're taking high doses of testosterone, and they're not taking the proper supplement like anastrozole or.
So when you raged on me for not going to QT before we got here, so what do you take?
So what happens is they're out of balance.
Right.
And I'll admit I've taken steroids. I've taken steroids.
Here.
They're not, but I've taken steroids, and I remember getting a blood test where the doctor looked at me and said, "You are currently a man and a woman because you're not taking proper doses of estrogen blockers, and your estrogen level makes you a woman, and your testosterone level is so your body is fighting itself."
Yeah,
so
I mean,
take it done properly, and sometimes I didn't do it always properly, but I learned.
Right.
If it's done properly, like through HPTRT, and you're getting it right, it fucking makes you optimal. And women are low on testosterone. Like everybody's got some type
women
of
need testosterone too.
Correct.
I mean, for people that don't know, Mike used to be like 700 pounds. Yes. And he showed me a picture the other day. I didn't. It took me a second. I had to look. I go, oh, this is Mike. This is crazy.
So you got alcoholic, can't run, can't fight, can't depressed, just down. Or
you look younger now than you did in 2009. And you showed me that picture. I go, holy cow, this dude is a different dude.
Who is this?
People talk shit that.
And you're 50 now? You're 50,
had a neck
right?
beard?
You're 50 years old, 51?
No, keep going. No, I'm 40. I'll be 49 in May.
You'll be 49. So and how old were you at the time in 2009?
I was in my mid-30s. I looked like shit. I was like 35, and I looked like I was a fucking dead
You looked like that fucking blue chick from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when she ate the gum or whatever it was. Just
blueberry.
The blueberry. But, it helps, right? Like, testosterone helps you lose weight,
but
too.
It gives, it fucking pisses me off that it gives people an out. Oh, he's a fucking roid head. He's fucking how mad he is. No, I'm fucking mad because you're a cocksucker.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you because you're a piece of shit. That's nothing to do with what I'm taking.
Yeah.
Because I can be very calm.
And then you just
I've heard this theory
I agree
too.
with that.
I've heard this theory too. Look at the people, not all people, but a lot of the people that take steroids, like tren and all that, who the type of person they are. They're smaller. They're insecure. Mm-hmm. They've probably been maybe not bullied, but like they haven't had a good social life, and they got to do something, so they make their physique, their outer appearance. But now they're bigger than everybody.
If they're into that though, they're also crazy dieting where they're fucking calorie deficit and they're fucking
I'm just
miserable.
saying the type of person that takes steroids is going to be someone that's probably not humble, and probably they're going to be the ones that freak out on you because now you got to listen to me, dude.
Yeah,
now
well, they took it
I can't wipe my own ass because my arms are so big. You're going to fucking listen to me.
Yeah.
Now you are. You wouldn't before, but now you are.
Now you will. Yeah, I can see that. But I also see
like giant temper tantrums.
But I also think everybody starts working out too because they're insecure at some point. Like I remember being super skinny, and
I work out for vanity.
And I remember being super insecure about it too. And like even lately, this is the last year is like the least I've worked out in my entire life. And because of just everything going on, I'm like, oh, I'm making excuses right now. But it's like it really bothers me. I'm like, I'm not working out.
It takes
stuff too.
a level of something to cause you to want to go do it because you should, that motivation, whatever it may be. I remember posting my workouts all the time. And most guys do. They get into social media when they start working out. They want to post in the gym. You know what, though? It gave me something to look forward to. Is like, I remember running these fucking miserable 5-6 mile runs. The only thing that kept me going was I'm going to post this fucking time at the end of this.
Was the trend?
Was the trend bologna sandwich?
Trend is bad for cardio.
Dude, trend will make trend turns people gay. Have you ever gone down those?
If you see a guy that's running a lot, he's not on trend. You should. Trend is totally anti-cardio.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wait. It turns people. No.
Listen, no, it really does. It's so. If you ever watch that More Plates, More Dates guy, you ever listen to him?
Yeah. Is that the shitty AC behind him?
Yeah. It's funny. So he goes on like these series and talks about trend, and he reads these stories on Reddit, and I've known people that have taken it too. So I've seen the side effects from it from people. They talk about how it just constantly like drains your dopamine system. Like it's paranoid. Makes you paranoid.
You're looking at the phone bill. You think your old lady's fucking cheating on you because she looked wrong.
Yeah, and
you're like what does she look like? Why did she look like that?
They say you're horny all the time and you can't get off. They say like you'll be banging like for hours and you can't get
trend
off.
Dick.
So yeah, trend dick. Yeah, and so
that's trend dick, and then there's decad dick, which is the opposite. Yeah,
But they say then you'll start if you watch porn a little bit, you'll be watching it every day, all the time, and then you'll get progressively worse into like the categories. So then you get to like where you're watching like torture midget porn or something. And it's
I think that's a fucking character.
It just turns you so wild.
I think
it's not everybody.
Trend might make you hornier, but
no,
you're not diving into fucking cheeseburgers and porn.
Because
of trend. I think your brain is already there.
I know a guy.
I'm being honest. I think your brain is already there.
I'll tell you a story of a guy that I knew that, at least as far as I knew, for a while that he was straight, and then started taking it, and then he started.
Steroids makes you gay.
He started getting into all this like weird stuff. Maybe he already had the tendencies, okay, but it just exacerbated it, right? He did. And he started taking tren, and then he was going to all these like bang parties, and then it turned from that to him like getting on these websites and then banging these dudes' wives in front of them and stuff too, like doing those parties, and then it turned to him banging the dudes.
That's a fireman.
And this is what he told me. Banging the dudes, and then it turned to like these all out like gangbangs to where it's like 100 naked people.
It's not Trent. It wasn't Trent that did it.
I think it was. It wasn't. Let's tell everybody it was Mike.
No.
And then there's stories that. So I saw that. I didn't see it. But they told me this firsthand, and then you hear the stories on More Plates, More Dates or Reddit. You can go down these like what Trend did to me. Trend turned me gay. There's a whole Reddit subreddit on that. Trend turned me gay.
You don't think Trend turns people gay?
But think about it. If you watch,
I think they're already gay.
Well, think about
maybe
it.
Maybe it brings it out.
Like if you just take like let's say if you're watching porn every single day, you're not gonna.
It's old.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to be as full and ready to go with your woman. It's just like it's just not gonna happen. If you're watching porn, you get used to watching. You get watching.
It's called though. It's deviancy.
Yeah,
your deviancy level goes up, and you're like, what can be more fucked up? What can make me more deviant? Mm-hmm. And it's like
I think that's character. I think that's built in. It's just like the videos I watch where the dudes finally go to meet a 14-year-old boy and the bodybuilders are waiting for him. They kick the shit out of him.
Oh yeah, all those live streams.
At some point in your brain, you pushed yourself there emotionally. I don't think it's.
I think it's just an accumulation of things like
maybe masturbation might pick up for some guys, and they're chasing that around.
Well, how do we go from that to? I mean,
I'll be honest. I see where he's going. I see where he's going.
So they're beating off more, but I don't think it causes you to fucking.
I'll be honest. I'm not saying you're gay, man. Relax.
You're fine. Mike, you're fine. No, I do see what Mike's saying because, like, if I don't beat off or anything for 10 days, I'm just, if I don't have sex or anything, I wake up in the morning and I've got a raging hard on. If I don't, I know something's wrong with my testosterone.
I'm gonna blow your mind.
I'm just telling. If I don't wake up wake up in the morning with a boner, I'm like, ooh, I'm not hydrated, or my testosterone's not.
I don't.
Like that's how I know.
I don't masturbate. This wife, I'm being. This is a God's honest truth. It's that good, and I feel like it's waste. I swear to God,
Mike.
I swear to God.
Did you just say you're
Mike? It's okay.
I swear to God.
Okay.
No,
Did you say this life
or this wife? No, I beat off my whole life, but there is a point where I met. I'm being. I'm brutally honest, and I'm telling you, there is something like
it helps.
It's just too good. It's waste. It's a waste to me.
It really is. It's like you're letting out your energy.
I'll get it out. If it's maybe 2 or 3 days and I get it out that way, it's better.
Yeah,
I will tell you, I masturbated every day in my first marriage. Whether she didn't care. I jerked off every time she left the fucking house. I watched porn and jerked off my entire 15-year marriage. Mm-hmm. No doubt. I swear to God. But then I got to this, and I'm like, it's not. Maybe it's because I'm older, and I stopped taking Trend.
Okay. Well, my problem is with Mike right now.
I agree with what he's saying but go ahead.
I'm being dead fucking serious.
Well, I have a problem with the guys that go, "You fucking watching porn? You're lazy as fuck. You're not motivated." Blah blah blah.
I don't care.
And I'm like sitting here, and my wife will see people like, "Oh yeah, this guy he does all this." She's not like stroking their dick, but she's like telling me like these guys get on there and they say like, "Oh, they don't watch porn. I'm focused on this and this and that." I'm like, those guys turn around and do some 100%.
Yeah. Yes,
they're just sitting there telling you, and they're belittling guys.
I agree, and I'm not belittling anybody
But I agree, you shouldn't. Porn shouldn't be a thing. Masturbation shouldn't be a thing. If you're in a healthy marriage, it shouldn't be a thing.
But Mike's right. Like you waste your energy, you waste your time. Like I notice it too. If I was beating off and watching porn every single day, if I was beating off watching porn, I would notice it like in my just overall drive. If I didn't, you notice the next day it's like you're using that energy. There's plenty. Even these like Freemasons and stuff, these secret societies, all believe the whole thing that they wear. This is your life form. They use it to protect your manhood, and a lot of them don't believe in ever ejaculating unless they're trying to have a kid, even if they're having sex with their wife, because of that's your life force.
Do you know who Steve Weatherford is?
No.
Steve Weatherford played for the Giants. He won the Super Bowl with the Giants. He's a punter. Jacked as shit. He was like the fittest guy in the NFL for years. He just chiseled. Behind closed doors, he was a porn addict and like pain pills, I think he dabbled in from the pain of like playing in the NFL. And he finally came out and talked about it. And he talked about how evil porn was in his life.
Yeah.
That it controlled him, that it didn't matter. It was like a drug. It was the next time he was going to watch whatever deviant porn. Now, he's a super Christian dude. He's got like 4 or 5 kids. Mm-hmm. Great dude. I watch a motivational speaker now, and he talked about that. And I was there. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I was addicted to porn in my first marriage. The second she was a nurse at night. Second she left the house, kids went to bed. It was bam.
You're like that like TikTok where she's like, "Honey, I just forgot." And
yeah, I'm over there.
I've been gone 10 seconds.
You've been out. The garage isn't even closed yet. Like, what are you doing? So I've been there, and I'm an open book, man. And in this, when you get to a certain point, that's where I believe that just like fitness, any other product where you change your life, fat to fit, all that stuff. There's a point where you achieve a certain point where you're like, fuck, like this is so good that there's no reason to
go back.
It. Yeah, it's like putting fucking you people that put ranch on their pizza. Fucking pizza's good without it. So why would you? Yeah, I don't fucking get it. Like,
there's deviancy and then there's deviance.
There's cheap pizza ranch. I get it, but like New York, if you fucking put pizza on
a ranch,
we're in New York.
Rip your dick off.
I'll kill you. I will trend out on you if you do that.
Oh, we're gonna do that.
So it's just. And again, I never would knock it.
Well, I struggled with it.
Legal and moral.
So
I struggled with it. I struggled with it for a long time too.
There's a link between. So there is a link between using certain types of steroids. Not saying it's true. There's a link, which means research and studies. There's a link between steroids and excessive porn.
I'm sure there's but I think they're weak people to start. I think this is not
That's what I started with. Yeah. Who do you think goes and takes steroids?
So if you already if you're fighting the urge of like, I'm trying not to look at porn, but I can't, and then you fucking up your testosterone level,
too, bro.
They're
up your testosterone level.
You see him online, and you're like, that dude's probably a fucking monster. And it turns out he's like Wes Watson, he's like 5'7".
Have you seen all that? I've been keeping up with all that.
They're all short man syndrome.
Dude, because he claimed he was 6'1" or 6 foot or something, and they're like, dude, he's 5'7". It's okay. Yeah. Like if you're 5'7", it's cool. Claim it, but he's claiming he's just been a big liar. I actually watched him in the beginning. It was several years ago. I liked his stuff.
Yes,
he would be sitting there talking.
Like, I want this car. I want this house. You can do this.
But he'd be talking at the little park bench and stuff. He'd be talking about it. You can hear. I'll go back and watch him because I've been seeing all this stuff come out with him lately. And I'll go back and watch the old videos. Talk so different. Like he was legit trying to help people. And I think he got just big headed and I don't know, like just the fame.
Rage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and humble. You have to be humble. That's and I talked about
hashtag
it with you.
Humble.
Yeah, I talked about it with you in your when you came on my show. That humbleness is what I think is success. I think they go together. Guys will be successful without it, but I think the true fun is like that whole circle of humbleness and not getting to that point of just being a piece of shit because you're fucking on steroids and you're jacked and now you're fucking. But I think it's a category of people. I would put it that they're already weak-minded people, and they're already struggling in some area, and their testosterone level goes from 200 to 2,000, and now it's like being an alcoholic.
They were already a dick.
You can drink a few beer. You have one beer. You have one beer. You have one beer, and you stay, and then you have three, and you're fucking off the rails. I think it's the same thing.
But speaking of TRT, like I've told people this story. I know if your testosterone is low and you are feeling sad, depressed, and stuff all the time
for no reason,
your life's most likely you probably have some type of hormone issue. You can't smile your way out of that. It's just gonna happen. Like if you're at 300, like when I first started in the fire service, I was always good, working out and stuff all the time. I was like 210, and then like I think it was 8 months in, I just felt like I never wanted to go work out. I remember being like, "What is wrong with me?" And I just felt like I just didn't get enough, even if I slept all night.
And imagine the mental problems it caused you.
It did.
Because you're like, fuck, what's wrong with me?
I got my test checked. I was at 300.
Yeah, that's fucking
and I was 23 or 24. I go, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Got on test.
Yep.
Everything, my energy was up.
Yep.
I just felt like a new, in my motivation, like literally your brain thinks differently when you have just normal levels of testosterone.
My first TRT, doctor prescribed like 10 years ago, 2014, and it was still frowned upon back then. There's only certain doctors, and they're like, it's going to enlarge your prostate, you're going to die of cancer. You're going to die of cancer, it's going to grow everything in your body.
Right.
There's unknowns, but I had one doctor specifically that was like, this stuff's great. This stuff is going to change your life. Unfortunately, I didn't maximize it. When I was really fat, so I was getting it. And all it really did was make me get fatter because I was eating like poorly. So it's not magic either.
And you weren't watching your estrogen and all that.
So it's not magic either. There's still, like anything else, you still have to do other things to go with it.
Yeah, you have to try and be optimal on every level.
In-N-Out burger every day and fucking take TRT and think I'm just going to turn into a mom. Because that's a common placebo.
Lots of guys take TRT and they don't even do it for fitness. They don't work out. They do it for their mental
health. Exactly.
Fine. That's fine. But the guys that have this placebo effect or this fairy tale that I'm just
gazebo effect,
where you sit out back and drink.
Gazebo effect. Have you heard of that, Tyler? I've never heard of that one.
That's in Florida. Backyard. You meet your uncle. Your uncle takes you out there, and you get the gazebo effect.
I remember when I was looking at doing TRT. It was only Joe Rogan was talking about it. Joe Rogan. He was the only one that openly talked about it. So I started researching it like 2019-ish. And so then I started going down the rabbit hole of YouTube, and guys were like, listen, I cannot explain how my life is better, but I mean, I make more money now. I open up businesses. I'm successful. He's like, multiple people, I would not be able to do that without TRT. It gave me that, like, I wanted it. I was running towards it, but it gave me the speed I needed to get there.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have higher levels of, because your testosterone as men just drive you and it affects everything. Same with vitamin D. Vitamin D affects your natural testosterone levels. If you have no vitamin D, you're gonna have lower testosterone. So, which directly affects your serotonin and dopamine levels at like a natural level. So, which is part of your motivation. So, if you have no testosterone, you're not gonna have the good natural serotonin and dopamine levels that you're supposed to. So, it goes back to your point.
Those cuck ass agencies, dude. I can't imagine grown men that are so fucking out of shape and fat and sloppy that frown on people for optimizing the performance of their body.
That insecure, bro?
These fucking guys, they got muscles and veins. They're fucking morons.
You're asking guys to come out here, and like we talked about in the last episode, you're asking guys to come out here and pretty much go hands-on at any time with anybody in the community. You want to be optimal.
Right. Yeah.
You want to be optimal.
Especially as a cop.
So, obviously, I've done stuff. And I sat down.
Allegedly.
I've done testosterone.
We talked about a lot today.
Yeah. So I've been to the gazebo. So
you done crack?
Guys, no. We talked about that.
I bet you get a great workout. When I ran gyms, we would see them.
All the pre-workout jokes online.
Dude, they would smoke it and then come to the gym and go on the elliptical for 2 hours and then go back out.
Because they don't eat.
They look great. No teeth. Look great.
I remember the first time I was on your show in December, Brent went on a rant about guys being on steroids, being optimal, and like I'd rather have a fleet of guys that are fucking muscular and jacked to go do a street cop job than a bunch of fat slobs who can't run 15 feet.
Right, yeah.
And but to me, it's just like everything else. Anything that it goes with like performance and being above the standard, a whole group of society frowns upon it. Like, oh, look at those fucking guys. They're all in shape and working out. Yeah.
It's the lobbyists.
Yeah.
It's the all big
Well, that
pharma
and
lobbyists.
There's not enough money in it. That's the problem.
In what?
If there was more money in testosterone,
Yeah.
dude, the big pharma would be
100%.
Well, because for $160 a month, $70 a month, you can fix so much of the mental shit that you don't need the pills for.
And you don't need a psychiatrist and
Yeah,
all these
like-
other fucking problems
Dude,
you have.
I like after I got on TRT, I'm like, I'll never go see a psychiatrist again. I'm either working to better myself or I'm not. But you get
You
into
saw a
stuff-
psychiatrist?
I found not a psychiatrist, a counselor.
You saw a counselor?
Yeah, for marriage back in my last marriage.
Gazebo for what happened at the gazebo.
What a pussy. No, I did too.
No, but all right. So like I found God, like right. So like okay. So Christ is
Don't
king.
make a joke about it, please. Just let him say something nice.
I would never.
I feel like well, you basically said
will
that
never
the
see
dead
me-
cops were pussies for going to DC and fucking
You will
celebrating.
never see me mock God. There's not that. I would never
We can
joke
joke
about
about
that.
cops
You think
getting
I would
fucked.
mock Jesus? There's no way you
Well,
ever
okay.
catch me mocking
I was just
God.
looking at you
I do
waiting
not-
for it. I'm like,
you would
he found
never-
God.
That-
Where's the joke?
No.
Okay,
I would
good.
never even.
So you
there's-
found
So
God.
it gave like literally gave me
I rebuke that.
the clarity and the mental strength to do that.
Yeah.
And so I forgot what I was saying.
I didn't. You called me a pussy.
Back when you found God, you
Well,
were on
you
it.
went to
were
to
counseling? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that made me realize I am the head of my household. I am
I'm not.
the husband, the father. Well, it doesn't matter. Like if you're either fixing yourself to be the best, or you don't need like for marriage counseling. You don't. You're not at your best if you have to have somebody come and tell your marriage how to go. I'm not saying you have to tell your old lady how to be, but you run the house. It's either you're bad or she's disobedient. One of the two.
They put a chair in the corner of the hotel rooms for people like that.
Well, that's a good point because, so I went and saw. So I remember for like a couple of years ago, I told the story on a podcast one time because I am against people going to therapy once a week, especially as a guy, talking about your problems and reliving them every single week. Like you're not going to get better. Guys need solutions to their problems. We don't need to talk about our feelings because only thing it does for us over long periods of time is make it worse. That's all we're doing is reliving it.
Get you in your feels.
Yeah, get you in your feels and all that stuff. Like there's nothing wrong with if you have someone you trust, get it out, and then
It's like
okay,
anything
hey,
else.
let's create solutions to this problem.
It's like a therapy.
Women,
That's why I like EMDR.
women show
is like
positive
in and out.
results from talking. Like they have the social. They like it's like the whole saying. Women don't care if you give them a solution. They just want to know that you care.
Yeah.
That's how women think. They don't want. If you start trying to give someone a solution, a girl a solution, they're gonna be like, oh, you're just not listening.
Oh, yeah.
If you say, she's talking about how hard her day was, you're like,
will
oh
you
man,
go
I'm sorry
get-
your day was so hard.
Will you go get me soup? Can we just order it, babe? Just order it to the door. It's 2025. Like
It's the
You won't go
trip.
get it?
It's
You
the
won't-
trip.
you won't go
The
get it?
fact you
It's
went
the
and got it.
effort.
The effort.
Yeah. And
My wife came home the other night from work.
Yeah, sure, go
stressed
ahead.
out. Go ahead. Not rambled, but dumped like 30 minutes of, and at the end, I didn't say a word. Not one solution offered. She goes,
like, thanks for letting me rant.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I'm like, good. Because normally I've learned, normally I'd be like, well, you shouldn't do that. That guy's an asshole. Don't listen to him. They don't want to hear that.
They don't.
They want to hear you. They don't want to hear you do shit. They want to hear you breathe for 30 minutes while they vent about their problem. And it means so much to them.
yeah, thanks for interrupting me for
ahead.
that story. No, he's right. You're right.
Well, I mean, when you see when you
You're
go
right,
to
though.
therapy, you are broken, right? So just like if I broke my leg and I snapped my femur in half,
Yeah.
and I had to go to physical therapy, you're not putting me on the front lines of anything physically. When you go to therapy, it's like you said. If a guy's got to go work through something,
Yeah.
like if his wife of 20 years just fucking left him and he's 50,
Yeah.
and his whole life's over, like
Yeah, that sucks.
maybe
That
go get it
sucks.
fixed, but at some point. You're not an alpha, right? At that point,
Yeah.
you're not leading anything until you're done, you're fixed, and you move on. You go tackle life.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I again before I was interrupted, I'll go back to when you're talking about counseling. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm the asshole. Maybe I'm the problem. And I was going through a lot of
You were
shit,
like,
like
"You saw a counselor?"
like everybody else goes through, right? Like no one gets out alive from this, from life in general, right? Everyone goes through hard shit. Doesn't matter where you came from. So I went and did it. And this right in the middle of this is when, and I'd already taken testosterone previously, but I just don't know why I wasn't like putting the two and two together. As right when I'd started therapy, I was starting my testosterone regimen again. And so like 2 or 3 weeks in, it kicked in. I went once a week. And I remember like halfway through, I'm like, why am I here? I've got so much shit to do.
Yeah.
And this is not help. They're not giving me anything. I believe the lady did, she did everything she could. I think she had the best intentions, but I'm wasting my time driving over here. And I go, this isn't helping me. And I remember by the fourth or fifth session, she was like, it was the whole typical, like, how does that make you feel? And I remember like, what am I doing here? I'm like, thank you, but this is my last session. Thank you so much for your time, but I don't need this. Like, it was a waste of time for me because I wasn't getting any solutions. The only thing that she told me that was good advice out of all those sessions that I will say, and I've heard this before, but for whatever reason it stuck then. So maybe, it was worth something, was she said, you've got so many different avenues. And we've talked about this. You got so many different things going on. You've only got 100% battery. Your phone only has 100% battery. You can't have 100% here, 100% here, 100% here. You can't give 100% to this business here, this job here, your family here. You've got to determine when you start the day, because you sleep, you recharge, you're going to put 10% to your kids today because it's a Monday and you've got to work. Then you're going to put the other 90% or 80% into your business, and then the other 10% to cleaning the house or whatever. Like, you've only got so much energy you can put out. Bandwidth, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes it, because I did think about it for a long time. Like, I can just work hard and do 100% here, instead of just.
But it stresses you out.
It is.
And then when somebody comes up to you and you don't have any more percentage left for them, like AKA your wife or your kids, and you're fucking, you're like, I don't want. Why are you bringing me this fucking problem right now?
Yeah.
Can you not see I'm fucking stressed? It's like, whoa, dude.
That's how you answered the phone when your wife called in when we were filming that first time. It's just like that.
Do you know what that made me think of, though?
What?
That made me think of, like, the personal trainer and the therapist being almost, like, identical. Their goal should be to get you good and push you away, just like a person. But what do they do when you get good and you go on your own? They're mad, or they want to bring you back. No personal trainer wants to see you come for 3 weeks and then go, I'm good. I'm
lose that money.
Yeah.
No. Does a therapist really want you to walk in one day and go, bro, you fucking
here's
fit?
another
They don't want you to get better.
No, they were like, are you really fit?
They're out of a job.
They found.
Yeah,
Want to
it's
know the new
interesting.
therapist? What do you call that when they have a whole thing to get people? What's that called? A racket?
Sales pitch?
A racket.
Yeah, racket.
A
The
racket?
new racket for therapists or
Never heard this term.
counselor.
Racketeering. Racket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what they do is now they get with life coaches, because that's a thing now. And they say, hey, you can work out of my office, I'll rent you space, or you can work for me in my LLC as a life coach. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell people, once they start going like, I think my past is fixed. As a counselor or a therapist, I'm here for your past, right? But your future is a life coach. And then they just pass them on down, and they take a percentage of the life coach.
Oh.
So they're always getting coached.
And that kind of, like, some of the stuff I see reminds me of those, like, where you go pretend to be a Navy SEAL.
That's
and
crazy.
they scream and yell at you to be a better man.
Yeah.
And you have to go to another man to become a
You got
better
to pay
man.
$18,000.
$80,000
Like,
to go to freaking
so originally
3-day
I saw
boot
some
camp.
stuff where it would be cool to go
it.
just basically go through
okay.
like Hell Week. That'd be fun to, like, go get beat to shit mentally, just to do like not to go learn to be a better man.
I would pay
There's
for
a
you to go do
problem.
that so I could film it, watching you.
Yes, sir.
Just watching
Freezing while you're
Yeah,
like a big fur
but to
coat.
me,
Hit him harder.
me and my buddy,
Get him.
There's a place in
He said you were a
California
bitch.
that actually does it. It's a week of, like, civilian Hell Week.
Yeah, that's
That's
what we're talking
cool.
about.
That's cool. But to go, like,
That's
have
cool.
a guy
but
treat
that's
you
like
like
a
shit to
Tough
make you
Mudder
better.
thing. Like,
Yes,
I survived
yes,
Hell Week.
Correct.
I got a trophy. It's
But to
dope.
imagine going to another dude and be like, hey, man, I'm not good for my wife. Like, teach me.
Yeah.
There's a chair for
You gotta
that,
be
dude.
that-
You sit in the
and
corner. Get it
There's
out.
two types of men. They go the route of money, success, happiness, family, and they're always like, man, did I ever do anything with my life? Did I ever make a difference? And then there's a type of people, kind of like how our like support structure is with all our listeners and supporters. It's like, I want to be a fireman when I grow up. I want to be a cop. I want to be in the military. Like, there's no benefits to, like, mentally, right? Nope. Yep. Financially, it's not the best thing. Yep. I know.
Yep.
I want to go do that. So those dudes who are millionaires, got into business right out of college, they're very successful their whole life, but they just don't feel it. They don't feel like a man because they didn't go, they didn't go shed some blood and mud on the front line somewhere.
The only thing that those hyper successful people have in common, they try to do studies and correlate, like, what is your daily routine? What is it? We were talking about earlier, they are all highly insecure and they never feel like they're done enough. So that those hyper successful people feel like they have never done enough, so they just keep achieving. People are like, what keeps you going? It's like, I don't really know. I haven't reached my goal or my potential. but they're all very insecure, and even at the billionaire level.
In this first responder world, and the old joke is like, I want to help people. Everybody says the joke.
I want to help people.
I honestly think if I was going to answer this, and I have before, about joining the military and being a cop, why'd you do it? I always felt like somebody had to do it. And I was physically good enough to do it. I felt mentally tough. Not in 2000.
No, I'm talking ready to do anything.
No, 1996.
You were ready to sit on the couch and eat a donut.
I joined the Army in 1996, and people would say, "Why?" And I always felt like somebody had to do it.
When did you get out? September 12th, 2001?
just like the guy.
I'm not. This isn't for me.
Just like the guys that went and died in the beach in fucking World War II. It's like, why did they do it? Because somebody had to fucking do it. Yeah. Somebody had to go.
No,
fight
it's called
for
the draft,
something.
Mike. It's called the draft.
Not World War II. No. World War II guys were committing. Those guys were committing suicide that couldn't join the military.
No, you're right. There was a draft, but there was also a generation of people that they were lying about their age to get in.
Correct.
Yeah,
and that's what I look at. I felt like somebody had to do it. I was able to do it. Why not me?
Well, man, can you imagine if we had that much pride today, like just in America in general, like they lying about their age, I want to go fight for my country. That's it's such a different world, but it's also.
I'm a fucking man. I'm a cow. I'm a
dog. I know we've gone over, but
do you
think that has to do directly with testosterone, like just the dumbing down?
Yes.
I would say that's the direct correlate. If you fix that,
they can't put us in
drinking with.
They can't put it. They can't put us in FEMA camps when everyone's fucking raging at 800 to 1,000.
Right.
Test scale.
Yeah.
They'll get caught. We'll fight them back.
Yeah.
One of my go-to lines is those dudes that died on that beach in Normandy would fucking never go. If they knew this is what we got right now.
I know, right?
They would fucking be like, bro, I'm just going to, if it's going to end up like that, I'm going to fucking stay home and live my life.
They have videos of that.
Even before that, look at our founding fathers. Like, these guys are going to give up. Like, these guys are going to give up security and pay tax. Like,
those dudes were shooting muskets 3 feet away. They were over 2%. Muskets 3 feet away.
Yeah, 2% tax. We're paying 30 out of our paycheck to the those guys would have been like, you know what, we'll stay with England.
Like, frostbitten. They're shooting muskets 3 feet away from each other.
Did you see that lady talking about the French talking about wanting the Statue of Liberty back?
Yes.
And she was she the White House press secretary, and she goes, well, let's remind the French that if it wasn't for the United States, they'd be speaking German today. And it was like, oh
shit. Yeah.
And I was like, dang, that was
that generation.
That was a good one.
And you're right. I don't even think back to like we just fucking fought an entire nation to become our own.
Yeah.
But then you think of World War II, where these guys just sacked up, smoking cigs, drinking with, and went and fought, drinking in the middle to save America.
To
save America.
I'm going to die.
My buddy passed away, Paul Newborn, sergeant, great dude, first sergeant, 82nd Airborne, 20 years as a cop. He said before every shift, the entire briefing should watch the opening scene to Saving Private Ryan.
Oh yeah,
you should be that fucking pumped to go out and be an American and watch those dudes just get mowed down because it was the right thing to.
As a cop?
As a cop or anybody, just as
I don't know.
Yeah, as a cop. Like think about
go die with honor, boys.
Think about that mentality. Like if you were that motivated, like those dudes looking at those dudes going, "Fuck, man, they opened that boat."
To your point, being a cop used to be such a proud profession.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I look at it like, am I going to get shot over crack rock? Over fucking crack rock. That guy, without shooting me, is going to get 2 days time served for that crack rock. What the fuck do I care? But he'll fucking shoot me.
Mm-hmm.
So that way he can make sure he doesn't go to jail, so he doesn't miss his.
And then you have to worry about.
And then if you shoot him, you shot somebody with mental health problems, and you're a bad cop.
He's a crack addict.
We are Counterculture 8. How's everybody doing tonight? Wild, huh? Wild.